guys, how you doing? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Loina Mutiga. Karibuni sana. Today we will be looking at how do you plant cauliflower and what are the requirements. So to begin with, we want to look at the soil preparation. How do you prepare your soil before you plant your cauliflower? So you need to know that cauliflower thrive in a rich, well-drained soil with a pH of 6 to 7. Okay, that is why I said you need to know what is your soil pH so that you can know which type of crops you will plant in that soil and they will thrive well. Apart from the soil pH that requires to be 6 to 7, you can amend your soil with compost or other organic matter to improve the drainage and the nutrient content. That is all you need to know about your soil. To the location, while choosing your location, ensure that you choose a location that receives sunlight for a period of 6 to 8 hours per day. Each and every day, the location should be receiving 6 to 8 hours of sunlight. So the next part is the sowing or the planting part of cauliflower. This is what you need to know. You can either start them indoors or you can directly plant them to your farm. So if you're planning to do the indoor planting of cauliflowers, this is what you need to take into consideration. Start seeds indoors 4 to 6 weeks before the last expected frost. That is when you should plant your cauli seeds indoors using starting trays or biodegradable pots. If you choose to do direct sowing without doing the indoor sowing, you can sow seeds directly into the garden 2 to 3 weeks before the last frost. 2 to 3 weeks before the last frost. How will you sow your seeds in the soil? You will sow them 1/4 to 1/2 inches deep. That is the depth that is required when you're sowing your cauliflower seeds. So the next part is the spacing. What is the required space that you should observe? You should plant seedlings to 18 to 24 inches apart in rows. The rows should be 18 to 24 inches apart, and the spacing between one cauliflower to the other should be 30 inches apart. To the mulching, this is what you need to know. Use a 3-inch layer of mulch to conserve moisture and suppress weeds. Mulching helps to conserve the soil moisture, the water content in the soil, and it also helps to prevent the weeds. To the watering and care, this is what you should observe after you have planted your cauliflower seeds. Water consistently, especially during germination and growth, and as the heads develop. When they start to germinate, you should ensure that you're watering effectively. And when their heads start also to develop, ensure that you are also watering your cauliflowers. To the mulching, mulching can help retain moisture and reduce the need of frequent watering. So if you're facing a bit of challenge with the water levels in your farm or the water levels in your homestead, please consider doing mulching because it will help you to retain the water content, the water levels in the soil. To the blanching, this is what you need to know. When the cauliflower head is about the size of a golf ball, when it's the size of a golf ball, gently fold the leaves over the head and secure them with twine. This helps to protect the head from sunlight, which can cause it to turn brown or yellow. Remember, when you are looking at the location that you select when you want to plant your cauliflower, we said you should plant them in a location that receives sunlight for a period of 6 to 8 hours per day. Therefore, when these cauliflowers will start to form the heads and they are the size of a golf ball, ensure please that you gently fold the leaves over the head and secure them with twine. This will ensure that they do not get burnt by the sun because they will turn brown or yellow, of which that is already a spoiled cauliflower. To the pest and diseases control, monitor for pests like cabbage worms and flea beetles, and use row covers or other pest control method it needs. It depends. If you notice that your cauliflowers are being affected by pests like the cabbage worm and the flea beetle, you can use the raw cover to prevent this pest. Or if you notice other types of pests, please make sure you take an immediate action so that it will not affect the yield that you expect to get at the end of the day. To the fertilizing, add a balanced fertilizer when planting and side dress with a nitrogen rich fertilizer as the plant grows. Ensure when you're planting, you plant with a balanced fertilizer. And when you are side dressing, you ensure that you use fertilizer that is rich in nitrogen. To the harvesting process, when are you supposed to harvest? This is what you should know. Harvest when the head is firm and tightly packed, and the florets are a bright white color. So you can wonder, how will you know if your head is tightly packed? If you can't observe that, please make sure you can use this other part that states that you harvest when your florets are bright white in color. Once you notice your florets are bright white in color, that is the perfect time for you to harvest. When it comes to harvesting, this is what you need to avoid. You avoid overripe heads. How will you know if your heads are overripe heads? When they become loose or grainy, that is how you will know that your heads are overripe. So the common problems that are likely to be faced by farmers that will choose to plant cauliflower is the buttoning, small malformed heads, often caused by dry soil or inconsistent watering. Please ensure you water your cauliflower frequently for effective growth. Another problem is the pests, as I've already said. There are various pests that might affect your cauliflowers, and also some diseases like the black rot and the club rot. Those are the most diseases that are likely to affect your cauliflower. That's the end of the vlog. Till we meet in the next one, subscribe to my YouTube channel, like, share, hit that notification bell so that each and every time I'll be uploading, you will be notified. Bye bye.